It's just not fair. How can we take care of our families if we don't have our rights, if we don't have our benefits? I mean, who does that? I mean, the state needs money. Why don't they just legalize marijuana? They can't stop people from smoking it.
We got enough of those stores down Michigan Ave.
Why don't they just, you gotta have a $100 permit from the state. Why they gotta take away our rights? The working people.
But the governor's chopping the business tax in half. What do you think about that?
You know what? I don't understand why he's basically giving business back $1.8 billion and taking away from the seniors. I don't think that's fair. I understand shared sacrifice. Just like I understand I have a right to work, but don't take away my right to collective bargaining.
Are you surprised at how quickly it got here?
We're very surprised.
I'm not surprised at all.
We had to pick up and come down here like 2-3 days notice. We're like, what? And then we heard how fast it went through in Wisconsin. We're like, whoa, we can't let this happen. We got to try to stop it now. We got to kill it now before it even gets as far, before it even gets to the governor's desk. He's got to sign it.
There's like 20 bills in the hopper behind it, right?
There's quite a few. We don't know the exact number, but there's quite a few. And none of it is good for the economy. It's almost like they're trying to eradicate the middle class.
You think the housing crisis is bad now? Take a look at how bad it'll be if they
without fire protection.
Without fire protection, if they take away our wages, lower our wages, take away our benefits, we're not going to be able to afford to live anywhere.
It's almost like they're trying to create a recession.
Without the arbitration aspect of the law, there's no teeth in it at all. I mean, Representative Haveman has talked that he's not intending to get rid of collective bargaining. Well, without arbitration, you are getting rid of collective bargaining because there's nothing to force the cities at the end to enforce our contracts. So we would have collective bargaining, but then if the cities didn't like the contract, there'd be no threat or anything for them to impose that contract. They could simply tell us, we aren't going to do this contract, we don't believe you deserve it, the mediator is wrong, and there's no teeth to the law. So we go back to collective begging. So what Representative Haveman is doing is it is in fact getting rid of collective bargaining.
Yep. What you're saying is the city could just end up dictating the contract.
For sure, the city could definitely dictate the contract without collective bargaining. Again, all of us here, we do not want to bankrupt our cities. There's not, I mean, they pay our benefits, they pay our paychecks. We negotiate in good faith with them, and that's what 312 does. It forces us to negotiate in good faith. Both sides are equal sides at the table, and we come to a good agreement and move forward.
What will happen now with the bill? Is it being fast-tracked through?
It potentially could be fast-tracked through. I mean, that's the way it feels right now in Lansing, is they're really trying to just force a lot of things through quickly before we really get a chance to come out and the citizens can show their displeasure with some of these bills.
Will the governor veto it, do you think?
I can't answer that. I don't believe it.
No.
I think it would be smart for him to veto it if it gets to that point. I'm hoping it doesn't even get to his desk.
I've heard that there are something like 20 bills waiting in the hopper that could all have implications for you. So it seems like if you beat one back, you face another one?
Yep. There's a lot of stuff. They're public employees are under attack right now, and I think unjustly.
Why is it that you've had difficulty telling your story? Why is it you think that people are demonizing you, and why is it that it's been hard for people to understand the role you play?
I think a lot of people don't have the facts. All they see is the media coverage that we don't pay anything for health care, we got great fat pensions, we make a ton of money, when in fact we're negotiating concessions consistently across the state to keep our benefits in line with everybody else.
I believe it's to create an uneven playing field. Right now everything's even. If one side is asking for an outrageous demand, an independent arbitrator will decide what is fair. And if we don't have that option, if the city makes an outrageous demand, we have no course of action. It's an uneven playing field. We're not asking for an upper hand in the advantage. We're just looking for a level playing field where we have a fair shot at a fair contract. And if the city doesn't have the money, we know that we will take concessions. And when the city does have the money, we hope that we would get pay increases. But we just want everything to be fair and level playing field.
And if they get this bill through and it becomes law, then you really lose it forever. You lose that opportunity to be an equal partner forever.
Yes, there's no reason why the city would have any obligation to bargain in good faith and to give us a fair contract. They would have all of the control. If they would sit down at the bargaining table, and if they don't like what we would like, or if they want to impose something that isn't fair, we have no course of reaction. It would be devastating to what would happen to our police and firefighters.
My question is, why is do you think people knew what they were voting for last November, that this was what they were going to get with the new governor?
That's a good question.
I think what's interesting is not one of the Republican representatives that I've seen ever talked about repeal of 312 or how binding arbitration is affecting the states and cities so badly. Now all of a sudden they're all on the bandwagon. If they're so strong about it, why wasn't it discussed in their campaigns?
Right. Do you think this is all as a result of Wisconsin, that there's a concerted effort by the new Republican governors to ram all these through?
I think, unfortunately, we were leading the way, and Wisconsin got to it first, to be honest with you.
Because there's a whole bunch of bills stacked up behind this one, from what I hear.
Yep. There's 20 bills.
You're going to be able to fight them all back? What's the plan?
We know we're not going to be able to fight them all, but we're going to do our best.
What would the repeal of 312 mean to you?
Personally, I think the bigger question is what it would mean to the citizens of the state as a whole. We have no recourse. We can't strike. We don't want to strike. Our only recourse is binding arbitration. The repeal of 312 would remove that, and that would hurt not only us, it would hurt the citizens of the state as a whole.
If they get that through, then unionization means nothing, does it?
In the long run, yes. That's the bottom line, is it would hurt unionization as a whole.
Now, is the idea that most unions put money into Democratic campaigns, so this is a way for the Republicans to defund the Democrats?
It's really not a party issue at this point. It's all about public safety as far as we're concerned with this.
Okay.